I have just finished my series with Arsenal where I played 2 seasons and won 8 trophies with the club, including 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Premier League titles and 2 FA Cups. We're now here 5 years later, 14th of June 2030. I resigned 5 seasons ago after our calamitous 5-2 defeat in the Club World Championship quarter-final to Man City. I resigned, now simulated 5 years into the future to see how Arsenal are getting on, who the new manager is, did they win any more Premier League titles, did they make it 3 Champions Leagues in a row? Well, let's find out. Well, before we get started with any of that, I want to see how the current squad is actually looking. How many of my players are still left at the club? It's only 5 years later, so hopefully about half the squad should still be the same. And also, what manager took over after me? Well, you can see there, the manager at the moment is Pep Guardiola. I'm not going to check the manager history though, because that will ruin how many trophies they've won in their tenure. We'll get to that in a second. So Pep Guardiola is the current manager of the club. Did he take over from me when I resigned? I'm not entirely sure, but he's the manager at the moment. The captain is still Martin Odegaard, and the vice captain is still Declan Rice. So nothing has changed in that regard, which is very nice. Let's check out the players then. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at the goalkeepers. Well, Aaron Ramsdale is still at the club, and it looks like he's still the number one goalkeeper with 59 appearances for the season. David Raya has left the club, it seems. Carl Jacob Hyde is still here as well. And Matai Kovar is another goalkeeper at the club. It seems like Kovar is the new second-choice goalkeeper, taking Raya's position, which is obviously a downgrade in my opinion. But David Raya, maybe he was asking for more first-team opportunities, as you can imagine. One thing I did say in the last episode was I was looking to replace Ramsdale with Diogo Costa from Porto. I did make another 1 or 2 more signings before I left. Diogo Costa was not one of them, clearly. Did not have the money to do that. And Aaron Ramsdale, he's flourished. He is now he's the number one goalkeeper at the club. He also looks like he's the number one goalkeeper for England as well, with 76 caps for England. And if we look here, yes, he's played many games for Arsenal, and he's definitely the number one of the club. So the goalkeeper position hasn't changed too much. Just Raya has left the club. If we look at the centre-backs here, well, William Saliba is still here. 60 games this season, 3 goals and 4 assists. Also, 60 games played. It shows they've done quite well in other competitions. We'll check that out in a second, but they obviously must have done rather well in Europe, otherwise it would not be 60 games played. It's great they've kept hold of Saliba for so long because he's regular for the France national team, and also he's an amazing player, so it's amazing to still see him at the club. Levi Colwill is a new one, that is for sure. He's playing for Arsenal these days. He's only got 3 caps for England, and unfortunately due to the scouting here, I'm not able to see how good he actually is, to be honest, which is rather annoying. I always disable player attribute masking, but obviously I forgot at the start of this series here, so we can't see how good Levi Colwill is, but obviously he hasn't reached his full potential with only 3 caps for England. And it seems like he took a very strange route as well. He went to Sheffield United, then Tottenham, where he didn't make a single appearance, which is very bizarre. Then he went to Al Ahly, and now at Arsenal. So yeah, very strange route for Levi Colwill, that is. But he's at the club now. Pedro Porro as well. The man who helped us on to win our 2nd Champions League title. Of course, he formerly played for Tottenham as well, so I guess he's not very popular in Tottenham these days. He helped Arsenal win the Champions League, and now he plays for Arsenal. He got red carded in the Champions League quarter-final against Real Madrid, and we came back to win that game 4-2 after being 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go. So we have a lot to thank him for. He's now playing for the club. They signed him for £52 million, but he hasn't made that many appearances, it has to be said. Upamecano is still here at the clubs. That's great to see. Still looks like he's a regular starter as well. He's a squad player these days, but he still looks rather good. 52 caps for France as well. That's great. Andreas Christensen, another one who helped us on our way to the Champions League. He made a mistake in the Champions League final for Barcelona, so it seems like these players just want to join us after they make the mistake against us, which is rather interesting. He's just done on the free transfer. Looks like he's nothing more than a squad player. Declan Rice is still here as well, of course. 121 caps for England these days for Declan Rice. Not for sale, 300k a week, regular starter. I don't expect anything less, to be honest. He's turned out to be a very key player for Arsenal. Amar Dedic is at the club as well, albeit out on loan. It's interesting, because I was trying to sign him as a left-back in my 2nd season, but he chose Man United over us. But he's ended up at the club anyway, signing for 26.5 million, not played too many games, and now he's on loan to Chelsea, so that's a bit strange. Also, Tyrick Mitchell was at the club as well, so 2 left-backs there. Where's Zinchenko? He signed for Juventus for £23.5 million, but again, he hasn't played too many appearances for the club. Seems like a pointless signing, to be honest. Is Zinchenko still here? I can't see Zinchenko at the club, so it looks like he's left the club. Timber is still here, though. That's great to see. 42 appearances this season. Who else am I missing here? Ben White is not here. Yeah, Ben White has been sold clearly. Tomiyasu, he is leaving the club. He's joining PSG. So who is the new right back? Well, Pedro Porro is the right back, of course. And also they've got Timber as well. Antonio Silva. Where's Antonio Silva? Well, that's disappointing. Antonio Silva, definitely one for the future. New centre-back. He has left the club, it seems. Tchouaméni's still here, though. Odegaard as well. Ruben Neves is at the club. Not João Neves. Ruben Neves. Where's João Neves? João Neves is nowhere to be seen, but Ruben Neves is here chilling. 180k a week for Ruben Neves. He's a squad player at the club. Vitinha is here on loan as well. And he's joining the club permanently. He looks like quite a good player, to be fair, Vitinha. High wages, though. 375k a week is disgusting. Joining from Real Madrid, it seems, Vitinha. Miles Lewis-Skelly is still at the club, but he's out on loan. He's on loan at Hertha Berlin, so it looks like he's not going to make it at the club, seeing as he's 23 years of age now. Ouedraogo is here at the club. Obviously, a signing for the future. He's made quite a lot of appearances, to be fair, albeit a lot of them from the bench. Hasn't really started too many games for the club, so it'd be nice to see him get some starts for the club. Pagulatos is actually a regen who came through the youth system while I was still here. It seems like he stayed at the club for the long time, but again, might not be good enough to play for the club. Dalipi as well is another one who came through the youth system. Young Ethan Nwaneri is still here, 23 years of age. Still listed for loan, though, and not making too many appearances, so I don't think he's made it at the club as well. Martinelli is still here. Phil Foden is still here as well. Same with Saka. Zaniolo is still here as well. He didn't make a single appearance this season, though. Umar Kolawole, who's that? I think that's another regen. Yes, another regen, that. Kulawale. Lamine Yamal is still here as well. The player I signed for £70 million to leave with looks absolutely unbelievable. 50 caps and 20 goals for Spain at the ripe age of 22 years of age. He's playing lots of games as well, so that's nice to see. Osimhen and Jesus are still here as well. And also Echeverri, the youngster I signed, he is still here as well. 11 caps and 5 goals for Argentina. 24 years of age though. Wow. Arsenal seem to have ruined him, unfortunately. Haven't really been playing him at all, Guardiola. That's disappointing. In the forward options, we've kept most of the players, it seems. Smith Rowe, I can't see Smith Rowe anywhere, so it looks like he's been sold. I sold Vieira myself before I left, so he has left the club. Who else am I missing here? Osimhen, Jesus, Zaniolo, Saka, Foden, Martinelli are all still here at the club. Same with Odegaard as well. So the team hasn't changed much, has to be said. Seems like there's quite a big squad going on here. Let's check out the reserve squad. Anyone lingering down here? No, not that I know of. And obviously the under-18 squad, don't really need to look in there. So yeah, the squad hasn't changed much, has to be said. Let's check the transfers then. Let's see what players actually left the club. Well, in terms of my actual final signing for the club, that was Alan Varela. I signed him from Porto for £52 million. He's not here at the club anymore, so they've obviously sold him. But after I left, Mark Travers joined from Bournemouth, which is a very strange signing. Tyrick Mitchell joins as well from Juventus. And Uwe Weiss joined from Augsburg as well. I sold 2 players before leaving as well. I sold Fabio Vieira for £22.5 million. He effectively was replaced by Lamine Yamal. And I sold Thomas Partey to West Ham for £20 million. And Alan Varela replaced him. It seems like on deadline day, the new manager decided to sell Zinchenko to Real Madrid for £34 million, which I am surprised about, to be honest, because in terms of the inverted wing-back on attack role, left-back position there's not much better than Zinchenko I could find. I actually might believe that Zinchenko in that role might be the best on the game, so who naturally can play left-back, of course. So surprising to see him leave, to be honest. David Raya joined Newcastle in January for £61 million. To be honest, the backup goalkeeper getting £61 million for him is not too shabby. Not too shabby, so that's not that bad of a signing. Nwaneri joined Ipswich on loan, and Jorginho went to Flamengo for £4.7 million. The next season, they signed Scott McNabb from Ross County on a free transfer, as you do. He is a youth player, and his hair is so big, it can't even fit there. So that's very strange. He's still at the club. He's worth nothing, though, so it doesn't seem like it's a good signing, although it was a free transfer. Jonas Kirkson as well, joined from Lyon for £625k. He's a goalkeeper who now plays at Bournemouth. Ruben Neves joined as well, and Pedro Porro. But £82 million spent on Neves and Porro. I feel like they could spend money better there, to be honest. That season, they only sold £10.5 million worth of players. Gabriel went to Atletico Madrid on loan, so Gabriel left the club as well. Varela went on loan to AC Milan, which is very bizarre. Lots of players went on loan, actually. Loads of players went on loan. Zaniolo went on loan to Real Madrid. Joao Neves went on loan to Inter Milan as well. So I have no idea what happened in that season, but a lot of players left out on loan. The next season, they only spent £1.9 million. One of them was Janel Duran from Atletico Nacional. I know they have a great youth system at Atletico Nacional. Signed a few players from our Portsmouth save and last year's FM from them. He's still at the club, it seems. He's on loan at... he was on loan at Burnley last season. We got 37 games. Now he's in the under-21s. Matoj Kovar joined from Sassuolo on loan initially as well. They sold £108 million worth of players in that season, though, and only spent 1.9. Joao Neves joined Inter Milan for £46.5 million. Travers even left the club as well. Ben White went to Real Madrid for £59 million as well. The next season, they only spent £27.5 million, so I don't know where the money's gone with Arsenal here. Amar Dedic joined for £29.5 million, and Kovar officially joined that season as well. They got £85 million for Varela as well, which I seem very, very bizarre. Why did they sell him? He's such a great player. He's a regular starter for Atletico Madrid, 60 caps for Argentina. Don't know why they're selling him for, no idea. Oh my word, what on earth happened here? Antonio Silva went to Man City for just £27.5 million, and he's a regular starter there. It seems like he didn't develop as nicely as he should have done, to be honest. That's a bit disappointing. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Well, I played him in 11 games in my final season, but he played in 27 games in total, so he was developing nicely, and he got plenty of games, and look at what happened to him after that. What on earth have they done to him? No games at all, so not surprising to see him leave. But yeah, that one definitely went down the toilet, that signing. That's very annoying. POS Pasito had a lot of loans out as well. The next season, they spent £31 million, £29 million of that on Levi Colwill. So the new manager, we haven't seen what he's done yet in terms of trophies, but I'm definitely questioning his transfers, that is for sure. Gabriel joined Nice on a free transfer in the end. POS Pasito joined Bayern Munich for £63 million. And wow, he looks rather good, doesn't he? He looks rather good. He's a very, very good striker. Still developing as well. 25 caps and 13 goals for Italy. A regular starter for Bayern Munich. I feel like that's a little bit of a bad sale, to tell you the truth. Although they did make big profit on him. Only signed him for £7.25 million and got £60 million from Bayern Munich for him. But if he's good enough to start for Bayern Munich, then he's probably good enough to start for Arsenal. So that's disappointing. Smith Rowe joined Newcastle with £66 million as well. That's good money, to be fair. And that is the final transfer window. So in the last 3 seasons, they haven't really spent a lot of money at all. Just over £60 million, which is very low for a team of Arsenal standard. But anyway, let's go see what they have done in terms of the Premier League, first of all. Well, it seems like they've done pretty well in the Premier League since I left them. We won the first 2 Premier Leagues, of course, in 2024 and 2025. And they've won the next 5 after that. So the Arsenal dynasty has carried on for a long time. 7 league titles won in a row. That is crazy. They just won this most recent season with 96 points. 25 points clear of Man United. So I think it's safe to say Arsenal are the biggest club in England. So that's really nice. Really nice. 7 league titles on the spin. Amazing. Not Man City nor Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle. None of them can dethrone Arsenal at the moment. And there's no reason to think it can't continue for a long time to come. So with that in mind, seeing as Pep Guardiola is the manager and they've won the league title 5 times in a row since I left the club, I feel like Guardiola was in charge for the entire time. We'll check that out in a second. Let's check out some other trophies here. You know what? Let's go check to see how did Pep Guardiola take over from me when I left. That's one hell of a replacement, isn't it? One hell of a replacement. Let's look at the managers here. Yeah, Pep Guardiola did take over from me 13th of August. He's been in charge for 4 years and 305 days now. He's won 5 league titles, of course. He's won 6 cup wins as well. I won 8 trophies in 2 seasons. Pep Guardiola's won 11 in 5 at the moment. So my record is better, but Guardiola has continued the trend very nicely. Let's go check out the Champions League then. Let's go see, did they win any more Champions Leagues? Let's actually just look at the honours here. Well, the Champions League, they won it in 2029 as well. So he has won the Champions League once. They also got to the final in 2028. Of course, they won 5 league titles. They did eventually win the UEFA Super Cup. Of course, I lost to Bayer Leverkusen in my 2nd season, so I failed to win the UEFA Super Cup. They've won it twice, in 2025, just after I left, and 2029 as well. The FA Cup, they haven't won any more FA Cups, unfortunately. Did get to a final, though. They won 1 more Carabao Cup as well, and got to a final this year. Community Shield won a couple more of them. And that is it. So, yeah, they've won a lot of trophies, that is for sure. The Champions League, the most recent winner is Man City. But Arsenal actually beat Man City in the final previous to that, and they lost to the finals with PSG the season before that. So Arsenal, in my opinion, look like the biggest club in the world. Let's go check it out. Are they actually the biggest club in the world? They are. They still are the biggest club in the world. That was nice. Just before I left, just before I ended the series in the last episode, we just overtook Man City as the most reputable team in the world, and they've kept that. They've kept top of that list for the entire time, which is very, very nice to see. So it seems like Arsenal, with me or without me, they are doing very, very well. One more thing I want to check before we leave, though. Has any of the Arsenal players won a Ballon d'Or? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have won a Ballon d'Or, which is, kind of disappointing, really. They are the biggest team in the world. So you would have thought a player would have won the Ballon d'Or at one point. Wow, not even one single Arsenal player in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or, which is, very, very interesting. Well, no player won a Ballon d'Or for Arsenal, which is, disappointing, but obviously it's about the club at the end of the day. But with the likes of Saka and Yamal at the club, it could happen. It could happen in the near distant future. We won't find out, though. That is the end of this series officially now, guys. 5 years into the future, it seems like Arsenal are coping rather well without me. They've just won their 7th league title in a row. One Champions League more title as well. No more FA Cups, but another Carabao Cup as well. So they're doing really, really well for themselves. That is great to see. So that's the end of this series, guys. If you're wondering what's next for me, well, look out for it on my channel, because in the next week or so, I will be dropping my first rebuild of the new FM, and also be many more rebuilds to come. In terms of actual Let's Play series coming, non-League to Giants, it is in the pipeline. When it will start, though, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe in the new year, we shall see. And also, I'm making a slight tweak to that series this season as well. I won't be playing too many episodes. It'll be one season, one episode for non-League to Giants. So if you're interested in that, make sure you look out for it on the channel. But coming up soon, there'll be more rebuilds to talk of. And the first club I am going to rebuild will be dropping very, very shortly. That's the end of this video, guys, and the end of the series. If you do like the video, please hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and it'd much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.